Looks can be deceiving, never judge a book by its cover. Whatever cliche you want to use, go ahead and use it. Because when you start this game up, you expect greatness. You get these gorgeous cutscenes, an incredible soundtrack, and a sense that evil is all around you. You expect another handheld Castlevania masterpiece. What you get is a decent game. For another franchise, decent might be enough. Decent is decent. But when it comes to Castlevania, especially a handheld Castlevania, decent is kind of a disappointment. Just released for the Nintendo 3DS, this is Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Mirrors of Fate. That's 2 subtitles, 7 words, 2 ofs. You know, the title is actually indicative of the game itself. Fragmented, convoluted, too many prepositions. Anyway, you play as Gabriel Belmont, and then Simon Belmont, and then 2 other characters. And as interesting as that could be, it just comes across as disjointed, a recurring theme from Mirror of Fate. The game starts off so promising, but you soon realize its bag of tricks isn't nearly as deep as it seems. Actually, it's like 4 bags of tricks, and a fanny pack of chicanery. So Mirror of Fate is a 2D action platformer, the latest in a classic bloodline. But unlike its most celebrated predecessors, this one's a lot more linear than it wants you to believe. Sure, there are a few paths here and there that branch off, and you occasionally come across something you have to return to later, but for the most part, this game's a straightforward plow from point A to point B, and it just feels unfocused. Like it's linear, but it wants to be Metroidvania, but it's also linear. But you know, I think the most disappointing thing about Mirror of Fate is that it never delivers the presentation that its beginning seems to promise. Again, you start off with a really cool intro scene, but the game itself looks less fantastic, and as the levels progress, they get more and more barren and empty. What's worse, the game slowly loses its vibe, you know, that aesthetic wickedness. It just starts to look, I don't know, okay? Unfortunately, things are a bit better on the gameplay side. Mirror of Fate plays like your typical action game. Lots of combinations and button mashing, but it is a lot of fun in the Castlevania context. In fact, the only issue I had with the gameplay is that you have to use the circle pad for movement. In a 2D game, not a great choice. So what's the verdict? Well, decent gameplay with confused level design, gorgeous cinematics, and decidedly less gorgeous in-game graphics. But there's nothing the game does wrong, and it's certainly worth playing for fans of Castlevania and 2D games in general, but it never blows you away. It never lives up to its namesake. It is, in a word, decent. It's Mirror of Fate for the Nintendo 3DS.